Notably, a big part of the Hamas ceremony in Gaza was scornful repudiation of U.S. President Donald Trump's bombshell declaration of his plan for Gaza. After meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu 4 days earlier, Trump said this in a joint press conference with Netanyahu.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years.
On a personal note, I woke up in Israel on Wednesday morning with a text from Tipping Point's Shelley Milheim. "You're waking up to some crazy news," she wrote. My first response, no way, it did seem crazy. But it was intriguing too. Arab countries, the Palestinian Authority, and of course Hamas, were quick to condemn Trump's plan. But he has not backed down. Does he really expect to deport everyone from Gaza? To rebuild under U.S. ownership? What is the strategy here? Dr. Eric Mandel immediately came to mind. We met him here in a report last November. With connections in Washington, D.C. and Jerusalem, he seemed the perfect person to ask about Trump's dramatic proposal. Eric, you may recall, is a surgeon who in recent years has turned to freelance diplomacy and journalism. As a journalist, he is prolific, publishing in as many as 24 media outlets. He is the senior security editor for the Jerusalem Report and a regular contributor to The Hill and the Jerusalem Post. As a journalist, he was also on the Gaza border on the morning of 7 October, where he encountered dead Israelis, but thankfully evaded the terrorists who had just murdered them. Let's ask Eric what he thinks about the release of Eli, Or, and Ohad. And of course, his read on President Trump's strategy regarding Gaza and Iran. What about Iran?
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Brian.
Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. I know it's a bit last minute. You have a presence in Washington, D.C. and in Jerusalem, which I think makes you an ideal person to talk with about what Trump has recently come up with in these kind of bombshell proposals regarding, well, Hamas in Gaza and the Gazans there, and also with respect to Iran. So, oh, by the way, before we go there, did you see footage from today's release of hostages from Orlevi, Ali Sharabi, and Mohammed Ben Ami?
Yeah, the horrifically emaciated state is, mind-blowing. One of the things that I think about is maybe that's the least of the tortures that they've had. We kind of forget what they and others who haven't survived have gone through. So, it has those images that are analogous to the Holocaust, to the Shoah. But, the cruelty, the level of evil, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So I think people need to remember that. I mean, I hate to get really specific, but this may be the best thing that they had to them of all the things that they've had to endure.
Yeah, it's shocking. My reaction here and the reaction of others here in Israel is everyone is just appalled by their look. A lot of people are making comparisons to Holocaust survivors. Some saying that we are losing Holocaust survivors from the 1940s, and now we have new Holocaust survivors in Israel today. Their appearance is, they were being held up by Hamas operatives when they were walking up on stage because they were too weak to do so. The footage is just appalling. How do you think Trump is going to react to this, or has he reacted to this?
Trump is no a wallflower when he sees these images to give his visceral reaction here. And I think that's really important, symbolism of the president taking the time to say that this is appalling. And despite the fact that he wants a second stage deal to go on, it's going to be, he's not the most nuanced person to be able to get a second part going here and then maybe to show outrage of what's going on.
In fact, the next day after speaking with Eric, Trump did react. Aboard Air Force One, this is what he said.
I watched the hostages come back today, and they look like Holocaust survivors. They were in horrible condition. They were emaciated. It looked like years ago, the Holocaust survivors. I don't know how much longer we can take that. When I watch that, I know we have a deal where we're supposed to they dribble in and keep dribbling in, but they are in really bad shape. They have been treated brutally, horribly. Even the ones that came out earlier, they were in a little bit better shape, but mentally they were treated so badly. You know, at some point, we're going to lose our patience. When I see that scene that I saw today with people coming out of helicopters and airplanes that are emaciated, that look like they haven't had a meal in a month. No reason for that. And I don't know how much longer we can take it. I don't know how long we can take it. When I watch people that were healthy people, and you look at them today, they look like they've aged 25 years. They literally look like the old pictures of Holocaust survivors. The same thing. I mean, the same thing. And I don't know how long we're going to take that.
If you are not yet a subscriber to endtimes.com and would like to see the rest of this important report and others like it, I urge you to subscribe right now at the website endtimes.com. For only $7 a month, you will receive a wealth of information and insight from Jimmy Evans, Mark Hitchcock, and experts from around the world, including Israelis living right here in the Jewish state. Do yourself a favor. Sign up today. Then join me as we further consider what President Donald Trump intends with respect to Gaza and Iran.